So I was thinking about me taking my son out to get some fast food. But this is the thing about me. If I don't see you eating my food that I cook, I'm not taking you out to get no food. And these are some stressors I have about my son. He can be doing so good, and then all of a sudden he stops eating. All of a sudden he falls off track, and I don't understand what's going on. You know, these are the type of stressors that I was dealing with when I said I was at a point where my hair was shedding more than usual because I was stressed about these very things that just keep resurfacing. So you just wonder, like, what do you do when something constantly resurfaces and you felt like you've already dealt with it? How much stress do you have to be put through until it eventually just subsides and it just doesn't come back up anymore? It's like you're dealing with stuff that's been happening, that's already happened and you've already dealt with, you know, but it just keeps popping up randomly. There was this time where, I wasn't, I was kind of in a soft place, with my son's dad. But it's like some stuff, that's what I'm saying, stuff that you haven't dealt with before. It was in the back of your subconscious. So I'm constantly dealing with those thoughts, and those ideas of what happened back then in the back of my mind, because there was never any clarity. And sometimes people be like, you don't need clarity. They don't give you that clarity and they don't give you that closure, when in fact that's what you really need. That's what it all comes down to. In order for someone to let go and move on, they need closure. And a lot of people don't give closure for that they don't give closure because they don't want that person moving on. Well, what's worse, giving that person closure or making that person hate you? Because you can't, you're deciding not to give that person that closure. You're trying to hold them, control them. you know you're not allowing them to be free. And sometimes, like I said, it doesn't even have to be that person moving on from you, but moving on from what y'all have been through, working over that hurdle, that big elephant in the room, is because you haven't gave that person closure. Once you get rid of that big elephant in the room, then there's an opening. You see that there's this opening where now that person, you've been so fearful of this person getting over you. Now that elephant is not in the room, you've got that chance, you've got the opportunity to prove yourself. You got the opportunity to show this person that you're not who you were. You're not going to do those things anymore. There's an opportunity of trust. Give that person closure, give that person rest, and then maybe you will have that chance. But as long as these people keep resisting, keep holding back, trying to control the situation, in fear of this person leaving you behind, as long as that fear is there, now you resisting giving that closure to someone, you're not only hurting them, but you're hurting yourself. Because now y'all both are just stuck in this place where y'all can't move on. It's like torture, honestly. You're torturing this person, because you're allowing them to keep thinking this about you, thinking this way, and these ideas. So going back to what I was talking about, my son's dad. Okay, so some stuff that I didn't get over with him is because he was very secretive. That's what I knew about him. He was very, very secretive, and I just couldn't trust him. Every time we got into a fight, he would run to his baby mom's house, and he would just leave. And there's been times where when we first got together, his baby mom was texting me talking about, I got a baby by him, this and that. He's still over my house. And then eventually it turned into, I was in love with, I was so in love with him. I was so in love with him. This love was so undeniable. This love was like, I was so crazy about this guy. I was so crazy over him. So his baby mom texted me, and then eventually she's like, I just had sex with him or something like that. And then in the midst of us talking later on down the road, I find out, I already knew he had one son, but in the midst of us together, I found out that he had another son. So I remember myself running down the stairs, and I'm just like, no, I'm going up the stairs. I think he's in the bathroom. And I'm going up the stairs. I'm like, oh, so you got another son? Because they text each other. And he was like, yeah, both of my babies. I'm like, hold on, both of my babies. You only got one. You only have one child. What are you talking about? She your baby now? And that's when he pulled up the pictures talking about, I got another son. Ouch. And I was like, oh, snap. Like, what? Where did this come from? That hurt my heart. That hurt my soul. And that hurt my love for him. So that was just one. And then it's like when you love somebody, they just have this over you. Any little thing that they do, any little bit of attention they give someone else is like a stab to your heart. You're constantly being stabbed in your heart. Like I can picture, this heart just with a whole bunch of freaking knives in it. And that's how I was, So, like I said, a little bit of attention towards anyone else but you, it's like it hurts you. It hurts your soul. Okay, so then there was times where, he would put her over me. He would give her, he's already paying child support for both of his kids. I'm in a household and I'm working, and then he's still giving money to her on top of that. And he's like, oh, she's taking all my money, but then you're still helping her out. There's times where her kids came into my house. That's what I'm saying. When you love someone, you allow them to, be around you. You allow them to have certain advantages over you. So, I'm welcoming his kids into my house, and I'm looking at his sons like my sons. Like his son is the reason I wanted a son. You know, his kids by this woman is the reason I wanted a son, because I'm in love with him and I wanted a kid. I didn't care what that kid turned out to be, because honestly, I was insecure at the time. I'm like, I am not having a kid. I'm not having a baby, a black baby. That's what I was telling myself, because I was insecure growing up. That's why, I had my daughter. My daughter is Puerto Rican and black. So I'm like, I'm not, because I don't have good hair. So I'm like, my Puerto Rican baby gonna have some good hair, because, she's half Puerto Rican. And that's what I kept saying. I'm like, I'm not having a black child. No, because I don't have good hair, obviously. And if I have a black daughter, that was my biggest insecurity. I'm like, I don't want to have a black girl, because I don't know if her hair is going to come out. I was afraid for her, because I didn't want, that that weighed heavy on me. That was my insecurity growing up. Of if you got those, you have your preferences of what kids you're gonna have. Like that thing which people used to do. Like as kids, we used to, do two fingers around. We formed our hand like this and went up our arm to tell how many kids we had. That was our type of, we had our idea of what kind of kids and this and that. We already painted the picture when we were younger. Okay, so that just tells you how in love I was with him, because I went against what I said I would never do. I had a black child by a black man, regardless of how I felt, I had this child because I was in love with this guy. So there was times, like I said, that she got in the way a lot. I'm in love with him. Even after he done moved in, we're together. His kids is coming over. She was always in the way. She always allowed him to come back, and he always used to tell me, like, I have a lot of respect for my baby mom, this and that, I have much respect for her. And I'm just like, I didn't understand at the time because I'm young, and I'm just like, why? Why do you have so much respect for her? Why do you keep helping her out? You have a family right here. You have what you need right here. Why do you keep looking back? Why do you keep going back? And that's just a question I could never get out of him. As much as you said you never loved this girl, you don't love her. I know you care for her, but caring for someone is not going to keep, you going back to that person. You're going to, let them go. Care for them. I don't know. I was just wrapped up. I'm just like, I'm so confused because, like I said, he had a woman right here that loved him, with a passion. I loved him, and then you're giving, all of your attention, all of this money, to her, and you see I'm struggling. I got to go out my way to do certain things because I'm not getting that. I have to take care of the household because we're only leaning on my money now. It's all on me because, like I said, she's taking child support and she's taking your money as well. You're throwing extra money her way, and you're also, I only got one child. At the time, I only got one child. I'm only receiving a little bit of food stamps, and I'm feeding your kids when they're coming over. That's the type of situation I was in, and you never give me clarity. You don't think I deserve to have some type of closure towards the situation? Because if you don't allow closure from a person, if you don't allow closure on your situation, it's just going to keep resurfacing. And that's what I'm saying about chances. You're blocking your chances. You're blocking your blessings because you're not giving this person closure to what happened a long time ago that really affected them. There's this time, like I said, we got into an argument. He wound up leaving, and guess where I found him at? His baby mom's house. And I was just confused at the time over there too. I'm just banging on her door like, where is he at? Oh, he's right here on my couch. Just think, when you're in love with someone and y'all get into a fight and he's quickly running back to his baby mom and you knocking on her door and what she said, and you're hearing those words coming out of her mouth after so many times she has tortured you, sent you messages, this and that, about, this guy that you're in love with, doing all of these things. So I feel like I was really tortured by them, And I'm, like I said, I'm banging on the door crying like, we need to talk. Why is you sitting on her couch right now? We together, we got into a fight. Why are you here? Why do you keep coming back? And it's like, what goes on in our minds is like, you're at this woman's house. What makes you think I don't think you having sex with her? If she's that in love with you, what makes you think that I don't think y'all messing around? You got that over her. So therefore, If you want something from her, she's going to give it to you. So you being over there, how can I even trust you at all? And like I said, this is what was going on back then. You know, I was young. My heart was, my heart was big. But that was my weakness. I always had that, I was like Rihanna's song, I wore my heart on my sleeve. So yeah. So recently, like I said, sometimes we work it out, and he felt like he has that chance again, and I don't see why not. But at the same time, it's like old wounds will not heal if you don't tend to them. You know, I have a whole bunch of old wounds. These are all old wounds that are still, they're resurfacing. We may have gotten over something, but something else resurfaces. That's resurfacing now because, you know, you never gave me closure. So how do you ever think that you're going to have another chance if you don't give that closure? That door is closed because you're deciding to have control over the situation. You're deciding not to give that person closure when all they really need is closure. But like I said, closure is a big thing. Yeah, I just feel like I've been hurt a lot. I've been hurt in the past so many times. And I just never received closure. And it's a lot of people, it's a lot of men that take advantage of that situation. It's a lot of men that don't give closure because they want to control the issue. There's a lot of men out here that does that and tortures a person, tortures the woman to hold on when what they're holding on to is something that's just killing them inside. And it makes you think, like, is that the ultimate goal? Is that what you want from me? Is that what you know, that is this how you want me to feel? Why should I even allow you back into my life if you're torturing me this way? You're making me feel so much pain, and you're clouding my judgment. You're clouding my mind. You know, you're messing me up inside because you won't provide one simple thing. One simple thing. You can't give me peace to have closure.